Hey guys, it's Becky. I am back with a Shop Your Stash episode number 4 for March, hosted by Megan W. I believe this might be the last week to do. So what I'm going to be using this week is I had gotten all these wash things. What are they called? The big old puffy wash, to do in the shower. And I had gotten them at a dollar store or Dollar General or something like that a long time ago, and they've been sitting in my bathroom in the cabinet. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them because I got 2 packages, and they are so little. They are just like the size of a baby's fist. They're so tiny, and I'm like, I can't use that. So they've just been sitting there, but then of course I don't want to throw them away, so I think I'm going to use them in my crafts. So here I just put down some double-sided tape, and I knew they would melt, but I wasn't sure under what heat they would melt. So here I am testing it with a heat gun, and they melt rather quickly with a heat gun, just so you know. So I went ahead and tested it out at what, heat they would melt, and it was actually quite quickly that they do melt. And so here I am trying to find something else to do with it. I tied them in little bows, which I do not end up using those little bows, but maybe I will in the future. That is a piece of the mesh right there that I had heated, and it made it weak. So when I pulled it into a knot, it ripped. So be aware of that, because that could happen. So then I made another little bow. I thought I made it smaller with less of the mesh material, but I didn't. So then I pulled out some safety pins. They were in that old box that was in the spare bedroom, which is what I had been pulling things from, trying to mess with the things that were in that box. And I wasn't able to come up with anything using this mesh with the safety pins either. I put some more double-sided tape down on a piece of white cardstock and heated it just a little bit from a distance, trying to melt it to the cardstock. It didn't really melt that great to the cardstock, and then I punched out some circles using my circle punch. And I did do this with the pink and with that blue. What are those called? They're called loofahs. They're not loofahs, but the blue spongy one you can see up at the top left of the screen. I did that using the blue as well. So then I used a bigger piece of cardstock and thought I would try it again. And I put some more pink down. And this time I sewed across it in several. Yeah, that's the melted one I was seeing if it was thin enough to fit in my circle punch, and it wasn't. So this time I put it down in double layers, and I sewed across the cardstock and the mesh material maybe every half an inch. Here I am trying to, this didn't melt it, but I was trying to get it kind of warm, melty to flatten it out. The heat gun does flatten it from a distance. If you get too close, it will start to melt it. Excuse me for a moment. So you can see up at the top where I had cut out some circles, and then after I had stitched those, I had cut out a tag. Actually, I cut out 3 tags, and then those flowers that I've been loving lately, I cut out a couple of those flowers, and did some smaller of those bows using less of the mesh fabric. So here I am going through some cards that I think I might use. The cards that are in the booklet are We Are Memory Keepers snapshots, and they're from 2013. And the cards that are loose, I'm not sure where they're from. I just have those sitting in a box. It seems like I've had them for a while, and looking at them, they look like they could be simple stories, but I'm not really sure. So the picture I'm going to scrapbook today is my February selfie, because as you know, I'm trying to do a selfie every month. So this is the one that I did in February, and I think I did it February. I think I waited till like the last day of February because I don't know why. They're not my favorite things to do, I guess. So I had backed the photo with some white cardstock, and then I put it on one of those 4x6 cards that are of unknown origin. And I'm going to use this tag that I put one of those meshy flowers on, and then I put one of the mesh circles on top of that. Here I am, I'm just arranging the circles that I had punched out with some of the little bows that I had punched out. This layout is on 8.5 by 11. I usually do 12 by 12, but I do have a few 8.5 by 11s scattered around my albums. And because I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and trying to use that mesh was a new thing, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, I decided to give myself a smaller canvas, thinking that it might go a little more smooth. It didn't really go more smooth, but that's okay. So I pulled out this pink polka dot card from the We Are Memory Keepers, and I didn't like it. So I used that chevron one, and I didn't like it. I don't end up using anything other than the white mat and that diagonal mat that I had put on it originally are the only two mats I end up using. And I am still trying to arrange these in a way that I think I might like. Oh, and also the hot glue you would think would melt this mesh if the heat gun did, but it didn't really seem to melt it like I had thought it would. In that tag, you see there is a pink rope up at the top. That is what was holding together the pink loofah spongy fluff thing, whatever they're called. I'm not sure. Shower puffs. Puffs. That's what they're called. Shower puffs, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start sticking these down with hot glue. And what I end up doing is I'm going to pull out some homemade enamel dots in black and in blue. And then I am going to use some Recollections brads that are in pink. Right there, I was using that paintbrush to brush off the hot glue strings. These are Bella Blvd letter stickers, and they're called Amorie, I think is how you say it, Amorie alphas. And they are by Bella Blvd. And I don't know what year this is. But I'm going to spell out Feb, and then in the Tim Holtz little letter stickers, I spell out I put 2016. These, I had cut these stickers in half so that they would fit in the box that I keep my word stickers in. So I think they're Recollections, but I'm not 100% sure. I put down the words hope, growing, dream, and travel using those words, and I do believe those are Recollections, but like I said, I am not 100% sure. That piece I'm sticking another tag right there, it is the piece that was inside the E in February off that Bella Blvd alpha sheet. And right here I am pulling out those brads that I said I was going to use. I pulled out more than I end up using, but that's okay. Here I am going to start, oh, actually I put down two more. See that blue one circle and the other blue circle I just put down are two more of the mesh circles that I had cut out from the original meshy circles that I did. And so here I go putting down some enamel dots. I cannot find my pokey tool, so I am using my tweezers just to poke holes, and they work fine. They're very pointy. At the bottom of this layout, I am going to draw some lines in pencil, And then I am going to write my journaling just of what I am doing or what I was doing in February 2016. It just says, this month I have been focusing on learning how to make good YouTube videos, planning, and in parentheses, more like looking forward to our Cancun trip, and crafting. I admittedly have had a difficult time focusing on anything else. And I am trying to make better videos, and I apparently am a slow learner. So we'll see how it goes. So here I go with the lines, and then I'm going to write my journaling. I don't do any splatters because I am going to give up on the Heidi Swap Color Shine for the time being. I will probably come back in with splatters in the future using acrylic paints, but I've been having issues with my Heidi Swap Color Shine. So if any of you guys know of other ways to use these shower puffs, let me know, because I still have some left over and it was very difficult to use them with heat. And I would like to find a different way that is not so difficult to use them. So let me know if you have anything. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you